to this special coverage for the launch of the Kingdom of Bahrain's AlMunther satellite, which is also known as the Made in Bahrain satellite, as part of SpaceX Transporter 13 mission. I'm Aisha Ibrahim, and it is an absolute honor to bring you this momentous occasion as we witness Bahrain's remarkable step into the future of space technology. This event marks a pivotal moment in the modern history of the Kingdom of Bahrain, and today the Kingdom of Bahrain is confidently taking a step forward towards the achievements in the space field with the launch of the first satellite using innovative Bahraini technology. AlMunther is a fruitful result of an ambitious vision achieved by purely Bahraini efforts, and today we witness the positive results of years of tireless work, which began with the establishment of the National Space Science Agency (NSSA) following the Royal Decree No. 11 of 2014. This was the core of Bahrain's ambitious vision in the space field, which continues to gain tremendous support by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, as well as constant follow-up by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa. The AlMunther project was announced by His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, representative of His Majesty the King for Humanitarian Work and Youth Affairs and Chairman of the RHF Board of Trustees. This satellite is a vivid testament to the Bahraini capabilities that have reached space through purely national efforts. Today, we will be with you in a live coverage, bringing you the details of the event moment by moment and hosting a number of experts and officials to discuss the importance of this project and its role in achieving the aspirations of the Kingdom of Bahrain in the space sector.
The National Space Science Agency is a leading institution in space and technology, promoting research and innovation. Since its inception, it has achieved significant milestones in developing national space capabilities. The agency participates in various research projects, including studies on the impact of space on Earth, climate change, and space technology. One notable project is the AlMunther satellite, which is Bahrain's first locally developed satellite. This step in space exploration will contribute to monitoring environmental changes and enhances communication with other satellites. The launch of the satellite depends on the advanced technologies, including new rocket systems and modern designs, showcasing Bahrain's technological progress. The agency's achievements reflect Bahrain's commitment to further advancing in this field and further strengthening its global presence.
And we have with us here our guest, Amal Jassim Al Bin Ali. Amal, welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much for hosting me here today.
Amal, if we can start by talking about AlMunther, which comes as part of the NSSA's project as in translation to the vision of His Majesty the King and the directives of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. If you can tell us details about this project and how did it start?
Well, actually, this is a very interesting question. After the successful project of Light 1, which was our Bahraini Emirati satellite, the vision was to further develop our cadre and our staff into going into a more challenging project, and also to build their capacity. In this sense, we were thinking of having another project where they can come up with innovative patents and new ideas that are not currently available in the region. So this is how the AlMunther came up to light, and our team has been relentlessly working on it since, and as we can see today, inshallah, we are happily celebrating the successful launch of it.
Yes, hopefully. And if you can tell us, why is it called AlMunther?
So AlMunther in Arabic, it is the man who warns, or it is the messenger who foretells about what is coming. And in this essence, it is the messenger who will tell us about the achievements to come that are going to achieve and fulfill the vision of His Majesty the King. And this was the background of why it was named AlMunther, and it was also announced by His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa at the time.
A very interesting name indeed, and a very nice representation for the name of this satellite. And if you can tell us about the patch, if you can describe it and its components.
Yeah, of course. As we can see, the patch is having AlMunther in Arabic, and this is basically as we are proud of our Arabic and Islamic heritage. That's why we wanted to keep the word in Arabic along with the English. And if we can see towards the sides, we have two Bahraini flags. This is to emphasize that it has been designed, built, tested by Bahraini team. So two flags to emphasize it's a Bahraini team who has been executing the whole project. And towards the middle, we can see the representation of a lens, because one of the payloads of the satellite is basically a camera. And if you can focus on the Bahrain map, you can see that it has been drawn by dots and lines, which is also representing another type of payloads on board the satellite itself, which is related to space cybersecurity and artificial intelligence. And last but not least, we can see 11 stars around the Bahrain map, and these are our stars, the Bahraini team consisting of 11 engineers.
Interesting, interesting, and well done to all of you. But how about the specifications of the satellite?
So AlMunther is basically a small satellite from a subcategory called nanosatellite. These are small condensed satellites, and it is basically a CubeSat of a 3U unit. I know this sounds technical and maybe scientific to the audience, but basically a 1U cube satellite is basically 10 by 10 by 10 centimeters. In our case, it's a 3U, so it is a 10 by 10 by 34.5 centimeters. The satellite is being built in this size to be condensed, but at the same time it can be efficient when it comes to testing, for example, certain payloads, or having a very successful and sustainable space mission when it comes to the end of life of the satellite itself. The size is around 3.2 kg, and as I have mentioned earlier, it has several payloads. To be specific, it has 4 payloads, and it has Bahraini patents, and our engineers were very keen to be innovative and come up with the new things that has not been in the market yet. So this is kind of a general description about the AlMunther satellite.
Right. And dear viewers, now we turn to the Royal Guard headquarters, where Lieutenant General His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, National Security Advisor, Royal Guard Commander, is making this statement.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اليوم نخوض مرحلة تاريخية تعد وتحصى من سجل إنجازات مملكة البحرين في ظل العهد الزاهر لسيدي حضرة صاحب الجلالة الملك حمد بن عيسى آل خليفة حفظه الله ورعاه. ما هذا إلا دليل على العمل الدؤوب والمثابرة اليومية اللي انتم قمتوا بها. فأخواني وأخواتي المهندسين القائمين على برنامج ساتلايت المنذر، أهنيكم في هذا اليوم التاريخي المبارك، ونتمنى إن شاء الله من الله عز وجل أن يبارك هذه الرحلة ويبارك هذه الخطوة الأولى من نوعها، وإن شاء الله أن هذا ما نوقف عند حدنا من هذا الإنجاز. وأنا وياكم عارفين أن عندنا طموحات لا سقف لها، فإن شاء الله الآن ننتظر هذا الإطلاق ونشوف إن شاء الله اسم مملكة البحرين يعانق الفضاء ويخترق الجو، وإن شاء الله يدور حول العالم حامل اسم مملكة البحرين زاهي بإنجازكم وعملكم اللي فعلا نفتخر به كلنا. أنقل لكم تحيات سيدي حضرة صاحب الجلالة وسيدي سمو ولي العهد على هذا الإنجاز، ويبارك لكم إن شاء الله هذه الخطوة. فإحنا معاكم إن شاء الله، ننتظر هذه اللحظة التاريخية، ونتمنى من الله عز وجل أنه يبارك هذا المسار ويبارك إن شاء الله هذا الإطلاق، وكلنا نترقب نشوف اليوم إطلاق هذا الصاروخ، وبإذن الله إن من ينطلق إن شاء الله فهذه الأمانة أنتم سلمتوها وقمتوا بالعمل واللازم، وعلينا إن شاء الله بالعمل المتابعة ومتابعة البيانات، وإن شاء الله إلى أن نبتدي نستلم أواخر الإرسال اللي بيعطينا إياها هذا الساتلايت. فأنا أنتظر منكم إن شاء الله كل التقارير بإذن الله. ولكن في آخر كلمتي أوجه لكم إن قريب إن شاء الله نبتدي إن شاء الله، راح نوعد القيادة الرشيدة وشعب مملكة البحرين المتعودين على هذه الإنجازات الفريدة من نوعها، إن شاء الله نبتدي مشروعنا الثاني اللي راح إن شاء الله نعلن عنه في القريب. والله يوفقكم جميعا، ومشكورين على كل حال، ومشكورين على هذه الجهود الحقيقة اللي كلنا نفتخر فيها. واليوم سجلوا هذا التاريخ، يوم تاريخي لمملكة البحرين، ولله الحمد.
Inspired by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa's vision to raise Bahrain's national aspirations into the universe with advanced contributions to the scientific fields, especially space, and driven by the belief that progress in space science will be positively reflected on many aspects of modern life requirements, as well as improved level of services provided by the kingdom to both citizens and residents, the National Space Science Agency (NSSA), and since its inception in 2014, has been committed to achieving His Majesty the King's vision with the aim of placing the Kingdom of Bahrain amongst the leading countries in the field of space, its sciences and various related applications in order to maintain a comprehensive and sustainable development.
In California. Now we're currently throttling down to prepare for max Q, which is the point of maximum aerodynamic stresses on the vehicle. Max Q is reached
Power
when
and telemetry nominal.
Good call out there. Max Q is reached when the air density of the atmosphere decreases faster than the increasing speed of the rocket. We should be hearing that call out
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
Another good call out there. We should be hearing that call out for max Q in just a few moments.
Now we witnessed the launch of the AlMunther satellite.
Max Q.
And there we've just passed through max Q. Now we have several events coming up in quick succession. First is MECO, or main engine cutoff, where all 9 Merlin engines shut down in preparation for stage separation, which is where the first stage separates from the second stage. Next, the MVAC engine.
MVAC chill.
The MVAC engine on the second stage will light, which you will hear called out as second engine start 1 or SES1. Then the first stage boost back burn will place the booster on a trajectory to head back to Earth towards landing zone 4. So keep an eye out for these events happening back to back. It will be quick. We're about 15 seconds away from main engine cutoff.
Ladies and gentlemen, AlMunther has successfully left it out, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of the nation. This is a proud moment for Bahrain and a testament to the power of science and innovation. Words cannot express the pride and joy we feel. This is just the beginning of Bahrain's journey in space exploration. As we await a confirmation that AlMunther has successfully entered orbit, let's discuss the satellite's expected impact and the future holds for Bahrain's space program.
Including main engine cutoff, followed by stage separation. Then we had the stage 1 flip.
Yes, Amal, let's go back to discussing the specifications of the satellite. If you can tell us about where would it be placed, in which orbit, and why was this orbit selected?
So basically, it will be placed in the lower Earth orbit, which is the nearest orbit to us. It's going to be on a height of around 550 kilometers from Earth. Why it was chosen? Because it is the nearest to Earth and we have a camera, so we need to have a high resolution images coming from space to Earth, right? So the further we go from Earth, the lower resolution we will have from the images that we are targeting. So this is why we chose the lower Earth orbit, and basically because the mission is also related to remote sensing and Earth observation. So that was the whole scientific analysis mission from the beginning, based on the payload on board of the satellite itself.
Right, and if you can tell us, how does this project contribute to the Sustainable Development Goals?
So the AlMunther satellite is basically achieving around 7 Sustainable Development Goals. When it comes to the Sustainable Development Goal of Education, number 4, it has been towards building the capacity of our team, engaging them into doing research. Actually, they've come up with around 6 research papers with regards to the AlMunther's mission. And also towards the goal number 5, which is the related to gender equality. As you noticed in our team, we have both female and male engineers. So we were able to engage females into being an engineers, into designing, analyzing the risk of the mission, or even managing the whole project. In addition, since we have innovative payloads on board the satellite itself, it's also contributing towards the other sustainable development goals when it comes to sustainable cities and innovative when it comes to industry. And part of the mission of the satellite itself is going to add to the analysis studies when it comes to agriculture or even the urban planning. So the cameras that we are going to have on board of the AlMunther will get and capture some images of Bahrain, which will then be further analyzed by the downstream team, the satellite analysis lab team. And they are going to come up with further studies when it comes, for example, about the agricultural cover of Bahrain, which will also add to the climate change. And not to forget that on board the satellite, we will have also space cybersecurity. So this one is also adding to the safe environment when it comes to goal number 16, and last but not least, goal number 17 when it comes to international collaboration. During this project, we had many space organizations or space agencies, in addition to local and international organizations that we had to coordinate with in order to come up with a very successful project.
Right, and we continue to witness the launch of AlMunther satellite. It is carried aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket, which will also carry approximately 40 other payloads from various countries and organizations. The rocket launched from the Vandenberg Space Force Base in California, USA, and the mission will involve 3 stages. The first stage is to take off of the rocket, followed by the separation of the rocket's payload, including Bahrain satellite. The final stage will see the AlMunther satellite entering its sun-synchronous orbit at an altitude of 550 kilometers above sea level, where it will begin its data collection and space exploration activities. The AlMunther satellite is set to bring cutting-edge technology to Bahrain's space capabilities, incorporating artificial intelligence for advanced data and image analysis. This technology aims to support crucial applications such as environmental monitoring, disaster management, and improving data collection for research. Bahrain's collaboration with the Mohammed bin Rashid Space Center (MBRSC) in the UAE further strengthens its position in the region's growing space sector. In addition to its technological advancement, the launch of AlMunther is a key moment for the Kingdom of Bahrain's efforts to inspire the next generation of space scientists. The satellite's mission marks a significant step in the country's space program and its increasing role in the global space community. And we continue our discussion with the Chief of Strategic Planning and Project Management at the National Space Science Agency and Vice President of the International Astronomical Federation IAF, Amal Jassim El Bin Ali. Amal, if you can tell us about this project. Furthermore, I believe it's a collaboration with a number of entities here in Bahrain. So what are the bodies contributing to this project and what are their contributions?
We had very successful collaborations with multiple entities such as the Bahrain Defense Force, which thankfully has assisted us with our ground station that will be communicating with AlMunther. Also, we had the Ministry of Interior assistance when it comes to customs clearance with importing and exporting the components of the satellite and also the ground station. And we had also the assistance of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs when we had to collaborate with the international space agencies and organizations. Not to forget the Ministry of Information when it comes to coordinating the whole media plan and also raising awareness about space technologies here in Bahrain, and the assistance of NCC, which helped us also to raise the awareness locally, regionally, and internationally when it comes to space. And also we had the TRA assistance when it comes to the frequencies and telecommunications. We had to coordinate with them when it comes to ITU and registering the frequency of AlMunther, and also to issue the license for operating AlMunther itself. And also, we would like to thank Bahrain Polytechnic, as they were generous enough to assist us with their electronic labs when the team needed to work on some of the phases of AlMunther. And not to forget also, we have the private sector, where we had the cooperation of some of the emerging industries into building some of the components according to the space heritage and criteria. So these are most of the entities, and I hope I didn't forget anyone.
Yes.
And yeah, I forgot also to thank Ministry of Finance and National Economy, because without them and their coordination when it comes to making sure that the finance is there to make a stable execution of the project until the very end.
Right. So it's a nice and beautiful reflection of team effort and a reflection of Team Bahrain spirit in having this project to succeed. How about the international agencies that you dealt with or you collaborated with?
So the space sector is very distinguished from other sectors. We can see in many projects, many countries usually collaborate with each other towards bringing space projects to life. Just for example, before I talk about AlMunther, we can see the International Space Station that is orbiting around Earth. It is a collaboration of multiple countries, whether it is from Far East like Japan or from Far West like the US or Canada. Mm-hmm. So AlMunther is no difference. We were working along with our sister country, the UAE. The UAE Space Agency helped us a lot when it comes to consultation in order to register AlMunther, and also facilitated the process of testing AlMunther in the UAE soil. And we had the collaboration with the NSSTC, the National Space Science and Technology Center, also in the United Arab Emirates, where we had the environmental and other tests done in their laboratories for AlMunther. And also we had a very successful collaboration with Egypt, with the Egyptian Space Agency, as we have also utilized their laboratory in order to do multiple tests, whether it is mechanical or environmental tests among the payload of AlMunther. And not to forget the company that we are working with, it's from Netherlands, called ISI Space, where they did the final test on AlMunther as a whole when it comes to the assembly and integration, and also the final test to make sure that it is ready for the launch, whether due to the shaking of the rocket itself or due to the temperature that might arise from launching it into space. So all of these entities had a big contribution towards assisting the team of Bahrain to work on AlMunther and make sure that it is ready to be sent off to space and to orbit around the Earth.
Right. AlMunther is also called a Made in Bahrain satellite. It had a team of Bahraini men and women working on it. If you can shed more light on the women working on, among the team working on AlMunther, and the patronage and the support that they received.
So as we have mentioned earlier, there are 11 members, 11 engineers who worked on this satellite. We had 4 females among this crew. And each one of these members, whether it is a female or male, had a specific role into working on AlMunther. So we had, for example, engineer Aisha Al-Haram, who was managing the whole project. So she's the manager of AlMunther satellite project. And then we had engineer Amina Al-Blushi, for example. She was the one who's responsible for the risk assessment of the whole mission. We have also engineer Munira Al-Malki. She was responsible for the payload on board the AlMunther, which is mainly the camera payload. And then we have engineer Reem Snan, who is also responsible for the communication that is going to be done between AlMunther and back to Earth and to and from Earth. So these are the main contributions of our female engineers. But on the other side, of course, we have our male engineers who were supporting all the other subsystems and also making sure that the orbit analysis is correct, where the AlMunther will be orbiting, or even the subsystems of like the electrical or power subsystem, mechanical body of the whole satellite. So many thanks to all of the team members who made this a reality today. And definitely the thanks also goes to the executive director and the CEO and our board of directors because of their support, and not to forget, of course, His Highness Sheikh Nasser. Without all of this support, we wouldn't be where we are today. And I cannot forget the Supreme Council for Women, because it's the main entity that is always supporting and encouraging women towards being involved in STEM and attaining leadership positions.
Right. Speaking about the National Space Science Agency, since its inception, we have witnessed that its role has kept growing. Actually, it has started raising awareness about space technology and motivating the youth to enter into this field. Tell us a bit more about how you raise awareness among the youth and encouraging them to get into this field.
Since the beginning, we started small. We started raising awareness about what is in space. People had the idea of space being a place where astronaut is leaving Earth towards space, and that's it. On the contrary, we have a lot of applications that are being utilized due to space. So we focused on raising awareness when it comes to satellites, rovers, any, let's say, space vehicle that can be sent to space, and then we can benefit from the information that it is sending back to Earth. So we started with all age groups, like from kindergarten until to university students, for example. We had a lot of workshops, we had a lot of hackathons where we have invited youth and children into solving real challenges being posed by NASA, for example. So this is to raise their awareness and also to increase their interest into being into STEM field, to engage into science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, because this is where the world is going right now. Most of the jobs are heading towards these fields. And we also want to encourage the new generation and the next generation to go towards entrepreneurship. So when they have this opportunity to solve the challenges, they might come up with new ideas that can be implemented here in Bahrain. So this will also help us into achieving another strategic objective, which is to creating a new sector in Bahrain, economical sector, in order to help into the growth of the national economy of Bahrain. So by having a space sector similar to the other countries, we can have entrepreneurs, businessmen and women who works into the space sector, or even attract investments from outside Bahrain to be here in Bahrain. So there are many efforts that has been done, but we continue to engage youth into fulfilling their dreams. We've sent students to the US, to the space camp, where they had the opportunity to train like an astronaut for a week. And thankfully, we saw how this affected their life when they had to choose their academic major when they went to universities, as the majority of them went into the science, medicine, and engineering fields because of what they have seen and witnessed there. We had also some sessions where the community of Bahrain had the opportunity to talk to prominent space figures, whether it is an astronaut, whether it is a data analyst from NASA, for example, whether it is also from the region, like an engineer from Kuwait who had also participated into a program by the UAE where he was challenged with astronauts' challenges. So all of these events and activities, of course, it will add to their scientific background, let's say, and we saw the effects. We can see today a lot of schools are embracing space. They would have space exhibitions, or they will have space projects, or even from universities that they will ask us to have mentors from NSSA for their graduation projects. So we try to integrate the theoretical part with the practical part in order to make them involved in the sector. And by the end, hopefully, they can be working into the space sector here in Bahrain.
And now we move to the NSSA control room for more updates. And we start with Engineer Reem Snan. What are the immediate technical actions that will be taken after AlMunther is successfully launched into orbit?
Alhamdulillah, today we have launched AlMunther satellite among Falcon 9 from SpaceX. And after the launch, there are several stages that the satellite will go through. First, we will go through the testing phases of each subsystem in the satellite, the power system, and then the electronic system, and each system, until finally we test the health and security of our payload, which is on board. We have 4 payloads that we developed in Bahrain. Firstly, it is the camera payload, and then we have the 3 innovations payload. So after the testing process of its health, then we will start the operations of the satellite, inshallah, after 1 to 3 months.
Firstly, a huge congratulations to the team here at the Bahrain Space Team. The launch has been very successful, alhamdulillah. And I will be talking to you about how we will be communicating with the AlMunther satellite from ground to the satellite, to in space. So the AlMunther will be at an altitude of 550 kilometers. And as a reference, planes usually fly at an altitude of 10 kilometers. And how we will be communicating with the satellite is with radio frequencies. So radio frequencies, we have 2 parts. We have the uplink from ground to space, and then the downlink, which is the space to ground. The uplink will be using the VHF band, and the downlink will be using the UHF. So the uplink will be sending will be sending commands and instructing the satellite on how to operate. On the downlink part, we'll be having the telemetry and the useful data coming from the satellite.
I would like to congratulate the team and Bahrain as a whole, and thank you for Bahrain International for covering this important historical event for Bahrain. We are very happy that the 4 Bahraini payloads had been launched into space, and the 4 Bahraini payloads is the first is a camera, RGB camera that captures a medium resolution images that covers Bahrain and its territorial waters. And the second payload is an onboard AI processing model, and this model is able to do 2 important things. First is the captured image goes into the software where the model is integrated, and it's able to classify the image into whether it's clear, blurry, or cloudy, and then it's processed, and this will benefit the NSSA laboratory down on grounds. The second and most important AI tool as well that's embedded in the software is that it can compress the images and send it back to Earth. The third is cybersecurity framework, and this payload is purely research, and we wanted to determine and put our fingerprints in cybersecurity and space system we integrated together. And it will be using an advanced encryption algorithms that will help in communication and data processing protection. And the fourth is it's very touchy and it's close to our hearts, where we will be broadcasting the national anthem of Bahrain and His Majesty the King speech in regards space science and future sciences as a national need, and for radio amateurs to download. And thank you very much.
Today we witnessed the positive results of years of tireless work, which began with the establishment of the National Space Science Agency, NSSA, and we will be back with more right after this. Welcome back. We continue this live coverage for the launch of the Kingdom of Bahrain's AlMunther satellite, which is also known as the Made in Bahrain satellite, as part of SpaceX's Transporter 13 mission. Bahrain's locally developed satellite AlMunther, also known as the Made in Bahrain satellite, is set to launch today, March 15th, as part of SpaceX's Transporter 13 mission. The launch is scheduled for 9:39 a.m. Bahrain time from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California, USA. Through the exact timing may be subject to changes due to weather conditions and other external factors. AlMunther will be aboard SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket, sharing the mission with approximately 40 other payloads from various international entities. The mission will involve 3 key stages: the rocket's takeoff, the deployment of its payload, including Bahrain satellite, and the final positioning of AlMunther into sun-synchronous orbit 550 km above sea level. Once in orbit, the satellite will begin data collection and space exploration activities, strengthening Bahrain's space capabilities. AlMunther is expected to revolutionize Bahrain's space capabilities with its advanced technology, incorporating artificial intelligence for high-precision data analysis and imaging. The satellite's mission will support environmental monitoring, disaster management, and enhancing research capabilities. This project further cements Bahrain's growing role in the regional space sector, bolstered by its collaboration with the Mohammed bin Rashid Space Center, MBRSC, in the UAE. The initiative is also a significant step in Bahrain's broader space ambition, aiming to inspire the next generation of scientists and engineers. His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa highlighted that the project marks a major milestone in the kingdom's space sector, supporting national efforts towards sustainable development through space technology. A fully Bahraini endeavor, AlMunther is being designed and developed entirely by a Bahraini team, reinforcing the country's commitment to fostering homegrown expertise in space science. His Highness Sheikh Nasser emphasized that the project builds on the success of Bahrain's first satellite, Light 1, and is aimed at optimizing national capabilities in satellite design, construction, testing, and operations. The satellite will provide crucial data on Bahrain and its regional waters, with Bahraini innovations forming part of its payload for in-orbit testing. This will allow for further refinement of these technologies before they are implemented in future space projects. His Highness Sheikh Nasser praised the National Space Science Agency NSSA for its continuous efforts in advancing Bahrain's scientific research, space technology, artificial intelligence, and cybersecurity sectors. He also acknowledged the Bahrain space team's dedication, noting that their work showcases the talent and determination of Bahraini youth in pushing the kingdom towards greater technological achievements. With the successful launch of AlMunther, Bahrain is poised to strengthen its position in the global space sector, paving the way for future innovations and scientific breakthroughs. And we continue our discussions with our guest in the studio, the Chief of Strategic Planning and Project Management at National Space Science Agency and Vice President of the International Astronomical Federation, IAF, Amal Jassim El Ben Ali. Amal, if you can tell us about the sentiment of the Bahraini team as they see the outcomes of their efforts today.
I'm sure that they are proud of this. To see it come into reality from just having it on papers when it was first started during the planning phase. This is a great moment for not only for the team, I believe it is a great moment for all Bahrainis that Bahrain is already in space with its Bahraini satellite AlMunther, and I'm sure that the team is also looking forward to receiving and communicating with the AlMunther as soon as possible to make sure that everything is functioning and to start the Earth observation activities and, let's say, capture the first image of Bahrain using AlMunther.
Right, we look forward to seeing this image. We're absolutely proud of this. And if you can tell us, how does AlMunther align with the objectives of NSSA?
So NSSA in 2024 has published the third strategic plan for the years 2024 up to 2028 with the 7 main strategic objectives. And mostly AlMunther is aligned with building the capability and capacity of our team of engineers, and also to enhance the innovation when it comes to coming up with the innovative payloads that they had on board, whether it is the payload itself or also the research that they have published and got recognized by many prestigious organizations. So AlMunther is, of course, a very pivotal milestone when it comes to the strategic objectives of NSSA, and it's only the beginning.
Right. Now that AlMunther is checked, you check the box of AlMunther. What's next for NSSA?
We have a lot of projects which are currently in process. Some of these projects are already in collaboration with other countries as well. One of them is the project in collaboration with the UK, for example. We have the CO2 SAT, where we are building a payload to measure the CO2 when it comes to Bahrain. Because Bahrain being very small, it was very hard to get these figures and numbers from the other existing satellites. So we had to come up with a new payload or a sensor that can bring this information to us. And of course, it will help all the environmental bodies and the climate change regulatories to understand what is the situation of Bahrain and try to make sure that we are within the authorized limits when it comes to CO2. We also have a lot of projects with our neighbors. So we have another project with the UAE when it comes to a rover. So Bahrain is going to the moon. And this is another bigger milestone for Bahrain, inshallah, that is going to be executed soon, inshallah. Also, we have another project with Egypt and China, where Bahrain and Egypt has won a competition with regards to having a payload among an orbiter that is going around the moon to search for water when it comes to the south pole of the moon. So this is another, let's say, lunar mission for Bahrain that we are looking into the launch that is going to happen soon, inshallah. Another project is with Oman and China as well, where we have developed an AI algorithm to be on board a satellite as well. So these are just some of the examples that we are currently working on. But at the same time, we have some new projects that are going to be announced soon. We're just waiting for the final steps in order to announce it to the public and let the Bahraini community knows that AlMunther is just the start, it's just the beginning. The team will never stop bringing new innovations when it comes to the space sector.
Right, brilliant. If you can tell us about this achievement and where does it position Bahrain in the space sector?
So when it comes to the local level, of course, this achievement is an inspiration for youth and the community to look after the achievements that has been done by the team itself. It's a great effort from inception of having just ideas into coming up with the payloads, or even having the first program to operate the satellite. It's the Bahraini program. It's not something that has been imported from outside. So it's a way to inspire the public into being able to solve any challenge that any Bahraini citizen would face. And when it comes to the regional level, as I have mentioned earlier, these payloads has tackled some of the things that has not been, let's say, thought or brought to life by the region yet. So I think it's also a way to showcase Bahrain's strength when it comes to being innovative, being capable of coming up with something new to the region, and also enhancing the collaboration, the international collaboration with our neighbor countries. When it comes to the world, of course, noticing Bahrain on the space map, that Bahrain has its own satellite built by its own team. And if you have heard the team, we have also on board the satellite, the national anthem is being sent over. So all the people who are hobbies are to listen to the signals coming from space will be listening to the national anthem of Bahrain and the wise words from His Majesty the King. So all of these will also captures Bahrain into the minds of the other countries and other citizens, that for a start, there is a country called Bahrain. It started small, but the projects that are coming are really big.
Right, all the best in this project and on future projects. Actually, launching AlMunther is another story of success achieved with the launch of the Light-1 satellite, representing a qualitative leap in the Bahraini space sector and placing the kingdom among the leading countries in this field. The joint Bahraini-Emirati satellite Light-1 was launched into its orbit in cooperation with the Japanese aerospace agency JAXA to start its scientific mission and monitoring and studying the emissions of terrestrial gamma rays resulting from thunderstorms and cumulus clouds. The collective scientific data will be available for research and scientific studies and will serve as a reference for different research in the same field. The data could also be shared with different research centers across the world as global contributions by Light-1 to serve humanity and its development. Light-1 successfully arrived at the International Space Station on December 22, 2021, carrying a Falcon 9 rocket that was launched on its SpaceX CRS-24 spaceflight from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, USA. The Light-1's name was inspired by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa of Bahrain's book, The First Light. It recounts key points in Bahrain's history, and the name symbolizes the country's growth and scientific progress. Welcome back. On behalf of NASA astronaut Michael Barratt congratulated the Kingdom of Bahrain for launching the first Bahraini satellite AlMunther, highlighting the achievements that reflect Bahrain's commitment to reinforce technological advancement.
Hello, I'm astronaut Dr. Michael Barratt. On behalf of NASA, I would like to congratulate the Kingdom of Bahrain and the Bahrain National Space Science Agency on the launch of its first ever fully Bahraini satellite, AlMunther. This groundbreaking achievement underscores a significant milestone in space science exploration and showcases Bahrain's commitment to advancing innovation and technological progress. Bahrain's AlMunther satellite is harnessing the power of artificial intelligence algorithms to analyze captured images, track changes in the environment, and inform plans for Bahrain's future. While on the space station, we work daily on science and research experiments to learn more about space and our home planet. The AlMunther satellite will contribute to this knowledge with future discoveries for the benefit of humanity. Its cutting-edge technologies will serve as a source of ingenuity to further develop scientific research outcomes. Its innovation will give researchers the opportunity to learn more about how Earth's atmosphere responds to its influence and opens a new door for what's possible in space. This remarkable accomplishment also strengthens and reinforces the expanding collaboration between nations, highlighting common objectives across the space sector. Space cooperation is the next evolution of our long-standing and strong ties between our nations. Our government and private sector partners can leverage space science for innovation, economic development, and our shared goals under the Artemis Accords. Our partnerships with Bahrain aims to advance space science under a specific set of principles, including peaceful uses of space, transparency, interoperability, and data sharing. These principles are good practice for exploring space and allow us to get along here on Earth. Bahrain is also cultivating a new generation of talented space professionals and has had multiple cohorts of students participate in the U.S. Space and Rocket Center Space Camp through Commons Endeavor Scholarship Program. We champion Bahrain's space program and its contributions to inspiring future generations in STEM fields, and look forward to seeing more students getting involved in and expressing curiosity about space education and technology, as space is the future. So congratulations to the Kingdom of Bahrain on this pioneering endeavor and for driving a transformative breakthrough in the space economy.
Bahrain launched AlMunther, its first domestically designed and developed satellite. The project is spearheaded by the National Space Science Agency and marks a milestone for Bahrain's space ambitions. The craft, a 3U CubeSat, is the first satellite in the region to integrate artificial intelligence for onboard imaging processing, setting a new benchmark for technological innovation. Equipped with advanced payload, it features an Earth observation camera, a cybersecurity system, and a unique broadcast function that will transmit Bahrain's national anthem and a message from King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa from space. The satellite will operate in a sun-synchronous orbit at an altitude of 550 kilometers and is expected to have a 2-year lifespan. AlMunther, which means heralds or messenger, symbolizes Bahrain's forward-looking vision and commitment to innovation and highlights its dedication to building a sustainable space infrastructure, fostering research and development, and inspiring future generations to pursue advancements in space science technology. And now back to you, Amal. Amal, we spoke a little bit earlier about the objectives of the AlMunther satellite and its environmental role and other tasks. If you can tell us about other objectives for this satellite.
So we spoke about the camera and how it can capture the image of Bahrain. When you have the satellite image, you can do a lot of analysis to it. These analysis can go into, for example, the renewable energy sector by knowing the solar energy that is coming out from different, let's say, buildings. We can go into the risk management sector, whether it is noticing the coastal area and how it is changing with reclamation, for example, projects, whether we have oil spills in the region. Also, we can work with other sectors such as agriculture, as we have mentioned, or climate-related sectors, such as knowing the surface temperature. So we know Bahrain has a high temperature, right? So by having the satellite image, we can notice where on Bahrain from the land surface temperature is the highest. So we can target it by afforestation, for example, by planting more trees in order to have more shades and more lower temperature for the citizens themselves, and many more applications. But these are just some examples. And not to forget the other payloads. When we have the cybersecurity and AI, we have the coding of our transmission, so we make sure that only authorized people are the ones who are communicating and operating AlMunther, whether to send task or receiving telemetry back to Earth.
Right, so this satellite opens a wide door of opportunities for other sectors and for sustainable development in Bahrain.
Of course.
Amal, if you can tell us about the IAF, you spoke earlier about it, and your role in this federation.
So the IAF is like the biggest organization that is focused on space. It comprises more than 570 members so far from the space agencies, museum, academia, private sector, you name it. All of these entities are all members within the IAF. You have the experts, you have the young professionals, you have the students. They all attend their meetings that are being held there because they have a lot of technical committees and administrative committees as well. And they also hold the International Astronautical Congress, which is being held once per year, each time in a different country. So the IAC, for short, is the biggest congress ever to have space enthusiasts and experts to attend. Last year it was in Milan, and it attracted more than 11,000 attendees during the first days, but the last day with the open public day, it attracted 3,000 more. So we are talking about around 15,000 people who attended this Congress. So this is in brief the IAF, and I was fortunate back in October to be appointed as the Vice President for Workforce Development and Education in the IAF for 3 years, so covering the period from 2024 up to 2027. So this role is basically focusing on the young professionals and students, how to engage them more into the space sector on a global level, how to inspire them into being involved and shaping the space sector. The new generation is a key player when it comes to space. We will have all the innovation coming from their ideas. They are the ones who are going to build our next batch of satellites, spacecrafts. They are the next generation of astronauts. Right. So this role is focusing on this category, which is a very interesting, actually, category, because when it comes to them and the changes in the generations, you need to change the way that you are approaching them. They always like new ideas, new challenges, new ways of being engaged. So being held responsible of this position is really challenging, but I'm looking forward for it, and I already have some ideas that are I'm going to present in the next bureau meeting, inshallah, this current month.
Right, and if I may ask, where would it be held?
It will be held in Paris.
Right. All the best in your mission, and all the best in your role for the coming years. And thank you so much for being with us and for this very interesting discussion.
And thank you so much for hosting me and hosting the team, and for taking this national achievement here on Bahrain TV. This means a lot.
Right, we're all proud of this achievement as Bahrainis and as everyone living on this beautiful land. Dear viewers, today we witness a new achievement added to our space record, and a historic moment that will remain engraved in the memory of the Kingdom of Bahrain, as the AlMunther satellite was launched, carrying with it the ambition of a leader and a nation to confirm to us that the Bahrainis are unwavering will no to impossibility. There is no doubt that this achievement places Bahrain on the global space map and confirms that Arab region possesses the competencies and capabilities that qualify to compete at the highest level. This achievement was not merely the launch of a satellite, rather it is a clear message that Bahrain is steadily moving towards the future, guided by the vision of His Majesty the King and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, and the patriotic determination of its pioneering youth. Dear viewers, AlMunther is a symbol of boundless ambition and the beginning of a promising future for the Kingdom of Bahrain in the space sector. This journey is not the end. but rather a new beginning towards broader horizons of research, development, and scientific innovation. AlMunther is the beginning of a new journey in the world of space, opening new aspects for research, development, and scientific advancement, which enhances the Kingdom of Bahrain's position in this vital field. Congratulations to the Kingdom of Bahrain on this success, and on behalf of the entire team, thank you for joining us for this momentum occasion. This is not just a launch, it is a dawn of a new era for Bahrain. We look forward to seeing the incredible contributions of AlMunther that will make to science and humanity. Until next time, goodbye, and may Bahrain continue to reach the stars.